Will please come to order. I would ask that all members please take their seats and the guests please clear the aisles. The clerk will unlock the machine for the purpose of recording attendance. Have all senators indicated their attendance? Will the clerk please lock the machine? There are 36 members in attendance. There is a quorum. At this time, I would ask for all members and their guests to please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance to be led today by Senator Mary Ellen Goodwin, representing the City of Providence.
Thank you. Almighty Father, as the new year begins, let us continue the work of our previous session. We ask that you bestow a special blessing of good health and happiness on each member of this chamber and their families. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The next order of business is the introduction of guests. Are there any guests present? Senator Coyne.
Thank you, Madam President. To you and through you, to the members of the Senate, I am pleased to introduce to the Chamber a constituent of mine who is also the newest addition to Capitol TV, Margie O'Brien. Margie is the new on-air host for Capitol Television. She is a former reporter and anchor for ABC 6 and NBC 10. She has also been a reporter at Worcester and Boston television stations, and more recently produced and hosted local programs for Rhode Island PBS. Margie lives in Barrington with her husband, Todd Reed, and their 3 children. On behalf of the Senate, welcome.
Senator Cody.
Introduction, Madam President.
Please proceed.
It's an honor and a privilege for me to introduce to you and to the members of the Senate, Senator Sheehan's cute 2-year-old daughter, Abigail.
Chairman McCaffrey.
Thank you, Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate. It's an honor and a pleasure for me this afternoon to welcome a number of PC students here who are involved in the shadowing program. We have Emma Riley, who's a political science and American studies major, who's a freshman. Kimberly Lynch, who's a political science major. Cassandra Kajagian, a political science major. And Michael DeBurge, he's a political science major. Welcome to the Senate. I hope you enjoyed your day today.
Senator Golden.
Thank you. Just hit myself in the face. Thank you for purpose of introduction. I welcome, and I know all of you join me in welcoming Senator Perry, who's joined us today. Senator Perry.
Are there any other guests present? At this time, Senator Goodwin moves the approval of the Journal for the 64th Legislative Day of the year 2015 and the first Legislative Day of the year 2016. Senator Goodwin moves approval, seconded by Senator Kettle. Is there any, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Any opposed? The Journal's approved. The next order of business is new business. Is there any new business? I believe there is one resolution. One at this time, I believe. The first Senate resolution is honoring the Rhode Island Family Court Chief Judge Heidi Bedrosian on her retirement after 35 years of distinguished and devoted service to our state and the citizens of Rhode Island. Chairman McCaffrey.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd move passage of the resolution.
Senator McCaffrey moves passage, second by Senator Algier, Senator Lynch, Senator Gallo, Senator Walaska, Senator Felag, and Senator Picard, Senator Cody, and Senator Chacon. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The resolution passes and will be left on the desk for signatures. At this time, we have a communication from Senator Elizabeth A. Crowley, Senate District 16. Please be advised and let the record reflect that due to illness, I will be absent from the chamber on Wednesday, January 6, 2016, and a request that it be recorded in the Senate Journal. In addition, we have received communications from the Honorable Gina Raimondo to the Honorable Senate. We have received a communication advising that in accordance with the Rhode Island general laws, the following reappointment to the State Retirement Board, Mark Carullo, as well as the reappointment of Jean Rondeau. Finance, please. We've also received communications from the governor regarding the reappointment of Charles A. Lombardi to the Resource Recovery Corporation. That would go to Environment and Energy. And finally, we've received a communication of reappointment to the Board of Directors of the Airport Corporation, Michael A. Traficante, Judiciary. Are there any further communications? There being none, there is no consent calendar. There is one more item of new business that I think is most appropriately brought up right now. Senator Golden requests immediate consideration of a Senate resolution expressing condolences to the Perry family on the passing of Alexander C. Perry. Senator Golden requests that the resolution be read.
Senate resolution expressing condolences to the Perry family on the passing of Alexander C. Perry. Whereas Alexander C. Perry was a beloved son of the Honorable Rhoda E. Perry and the late Dr. Donald M. Perry. A graduate of Rhode Island College, he was a talented and hardworking painter who served the East Side community. He struggled with addiction for many years and fought tirelessly to defeat this disease as he helped countless others in recovery. And whereas Alex's struggle against this horrific disease was faithfully supported by his family, close friends, and so many dedicated and caring health and recovery professionals. And whereas Alex was a great father, son, brother, and friend, who was known for his infectious smile, warm and welcoming personality, and dedication to his work and his employees, he is and will continue to be sorely missed by his family, friends, and all who knew and loved him. And whereas besides his parents, he leaves a son, Lucas E. Perry, a daughter, Paige A. Perry, a brother, Dr. Samuel E. Perry, an aunt, Pamela E. Bailey, as well as the mothers of his two children, Susan Perry and Heather Carey. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Senate of the State of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations hereby expresses its deepest condolences to the Perry family on the passing of Alexander C. Perry. And be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be, and she is hereby authorized and directed to transmit a duly certified copy of this resolution to the Honorable Rhoda E. Perry and the Perry family.
It is with deep sadness that we remember Alex Perry here today. Alex was a father and a brother and a son, and he will be deeply missed by his family. Alex, like many other Rhode Islanders, people in New England and across our country, struggle with addiction. It impacted every facet of his life and deeply affected his family. I know Senator Perry's love for her son is unmatched, but love itself is not enough. As members of this esteemed body, we must use Alex's too early departure from this world to remind ourselves that addiction is not a crime, it is a disease. And in his memory, let us recommit ourselves to working harder to eliminate this epidemic in our state. I express my deepest condolences to Senator Perry and her family on behalf of my district, and I'm sure all of us, and I move passage.
Senator Golden moves passage, seconded by Leader Ruggiero, Leader Algier, Whip Goodwin, Whip Kettle, and the entire Senate. All those in favor, please rise. The resolution passes. At this time, we will go to the regular calendar. Item number 1, 2016, S-2002. Chairman McCaffrey.
Thank you, Madam President, and ladies and gentlemen of the Senate. I rise today to encourage my colleagues to support the Good Samaritan Overdose Prevention Bill. We passed a bill in a similar form last year, and what this bill does, this bill makes a difference between saving a life or an individual dying because of a drug overdose. In 2012, Senator Perry successfully championed the bill to create the state's original life-saving Good Samaritan Act. In doing so, we sought to ensure the protection of individuals who call 911 or call anyone for assistance in a case of a drug overdose, for fear of going to jail if they called and they were in the presence of the drugs. Senator Perry at the time ultimately said, "Saving a life is much more important than an arrest or a lawsuit. This bill is about putting human lives first." I couldn't concur more with her on that statement. As you know, the bill we passed last year in May extended the sunset in the bill. However, at the end of the session, the bill never passed the House. Today's bill does two things. One, it's two things different than last year's bill. One, it eliminates the sunset provision so that the law would become permanent. And two, the bill leaves the issue of delivery of illegal substances to be addressed in a separate bill this year. Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, I ask that you pass this bill. Thank you.
Chairman McCaffrey moves passage, seconded by Senator Miller, Senator Nesselbush, Senator Fogarty, Senator Metz, Senator Picard, Senator Jabor, Senator Sosnowski, Senator Pichardo, Senator Walaska, Senator Felag, Leader Ruggiero, Senator Goodwin, Senator DuPont, Senator Gallo, Senator Lynch, Senator Doyle, Leader Algier, Senator Kettle, Senator G, Senator O'Neill, Senator Raptakis, Senator Sheehan, Senator Cody, Senator Golden, Senator Satchel, Senator Coyne, Senator Archambault, Senator DePalma, and Senator Lombardi, Senator Conley, Senator Lombardo, and Senator Morgan. Is there any discussion? Senator Miller.
Yes, I rise to second this bill and make a few comments on behalf of its passage. It became aware to many of us that we needed to do this week, last June, when it didn't pass the House on the last day of session last year. And as a member of the Overdose Commission appointed by the Governor and the Senate President, I spent many days of while we weren't in session discussing the issues as they dealt with overdose. And there wasn't an advocate or a member of the commission that didn't have a discussion with me on how important it was to reinstate the Good Samaritan legislation. This became personal for many people, including Senator Perry and myself, for knowing friends, relatives, members of our community, nationally in the region of New England, that this is an important tool to deal with an overdose crisis that is spreading nationwide. And this is a crisis that's different than it was even 5 or 10 years ago. It's increased by multiples. There's been many demonstrations of that, statistically or personally, that all of us should use every tool we can, and this is one of the very important tools to be done. In my discussions of this issue, I often use, I think Dr. Fine first used this demonstration of how important this crisis was. We have not gone below 200 fatalities a year in overdoses in the last 3 or 4 years. Imagine how many hands would be on deck if every year we had a plane crash at TF Green Airport. What would we do differently? There wouldn't be a moment, a day that passed that we wouldn't use whatever tool we had to prevent that crisis from happening again. This is one tool to help save lives of not only our family members, but all the members of our community touched by the crisis of addiction. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? There being none, will the clerk please unlock the machine? Shall the act pass? Will the clerk please lock the machine? 35 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, and the act passes. At this time, Senator Goodwin, do you have introduction of any additional guests
I
that
do,
are
Madam
there
President.
before you?
Madam President, thank you, members of the Senate. Joining our dear colleague, Senator Perry, today is, for many of us, our former colleague, the Secretary of the Executive Office of Health and Human Services, former Senator Elizabeth Roberts. Welcome to you, Senator. And in addition, we also have Director Maria Montanaro from the Office of BHDDH. Welcome to you as well, Maria.
Thank you, and thank you, Senator Perry, for joining us today. It means so much to me personally and to all of us in the chamber, and we look forward to working with you, and I'm sure the advocacy community is counting on you to continue to work as we review this act and address the issues that remain regarding overdose prevention. Thank you. At this time, this concludes the regular calendar, and we would revert to announcements and introductions. Are there any announcements and introductions? If there are none, is there any objection to transmitting adopted resolutions to the Honorable Secretary of State? All matters passed by the Senate to the Honorable House of Representatives, and all matters passed in concurrence to Her Excellency the Governor. Hearing none, so ordered. The desk is now clear of business. Madam Whip. Thank
you, Madam President. Members of the Senate, I have an important announcement, which has been typical, Madam President, at the start of our session. I announced that tomorrow, Thursday, January 7th, and the following Thursday, session will be canceled, just for purposes of planning. So there'll be no session tomorrow and the following Thursday. With that being said, Madam President, if there's no further business to come before the Senate this afternoon, I'll yield the floor to Senator Golden for purposes of adjournment.
Senator Golden.
Thank you. I move that we adjourn in memory of Alex Perry.
Senator Goldwyn moves that we adjourn in memory of Alex Perry, seconded by Leader Ruggiero, Leader Algier, and the entire Senate. All those in favor, please rise. Senate stands adjourned.